Ancient Rome. Just the name conjures images of power, of spectacle, of emperors and gladiators. This wasn't just a city, it was an empire, a force that shaped the world for centuries. Its reach extended across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Its influence can still be felt today, in our languages, our laws, our very idea of what a city can be. To walk through the ruins of Rome is to walk through the echoes of history itself. The Roman Empire wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't built by just one man. It was the product of centuries of struggle, of conquest, of political maneuvering. But through it all, one thing remained constant: the Roman spirit, that indomitable will that saw them conquer not just lands, but also the very challenges of engineering and architecture. From the smallest insula to the grandest temple, Roman construction spoke of a people who thought big, who dreamt big, and who weren't afraid to make those dreams a reality. And what better place to start our virtual journey than with the most iconic of all Roman monuments, the Colosseum? The Colosseum. It stands today as a stark reminder of the power and the cruelty of ancient Rome. Built by emperors for the entertainment of the masses, it was here that gladiators fought, animals were slaughtered, and public executions took place. Construction began under the Emperor Vespasian in 70 AD, and was completed just a decade later by his son, Titus. This was no mean feat of engineering. The Colosseum could hold up to 80,000 spectators, seated in tiers that reflected their social standing. The arena floor, made of wood and covered in sand, could be flooded for mock naval battles. Imagine the roar of the crowd, the clash of steel, the smell of blood and fear. These weren't just games, they were a spectacle, a way for the emperors to keep the populace entertained and to demonstrate their power. They were also a brutal reflection of Roman society, a society that could be both deeply civilized and shockingly cruel. But the Colosseum wasn't the only center of Roman life. To understand the Roman people, we need to venture into the heart of the city, to the Roman Forum. If the Colosseum was the beating heart of Roman entertainment, then the Roman Forum was the beating heart of Roman life itself. This was where the business of the empire was conducted, where laws were made, where speeches were given, where deals were struck. It was a bustling hive of activity, a place where senators rubbed shoulders with shopkeepers, where the wealthy and the poor came together. The Forum wasn't just a collection of buildings, it was a living, breathing organism that evolved over centuries. Temples dedicated to Roman gods stood alongside basilicas where courts were held. The rostra, a large platform, was where orators like Cicero would address the crowds. Statues of heroes and emperors lined the walkways, reminders of Roman glory. To stand in the Forum today, even in its ruined state, is to feel a connection to that past, to hear the echoes of the voices that once filled this space. You can almost imagine the arguments, the debates, the laughter, and the despair that played out here over the centuries. But Rome wasn't all politics and commerce. The Romans also had a deep appreciation for art, for architecture, for the divine. And nowhere is this more evident than in the Pantheon. Section 4. The Pantheon, an architectural marvel. The Pantheon, a temple dedicated to all the gods. Even today, almost 2,000 years after it was built, it still takes your breath away. Its dome, a perfect hemisphere, seems to defy gravity, a testament to the ingenuity of Roman architects. It was completed in 126 AD by the Emperor Hadrian, a man known for his love of architecture. The Pantheon's design is deceptively simple. A massive cylindrical drum topped by the dome, with a portico of Corinthian columns at the entrance. But within that simplicity lies a world of architectural genius. The dome, made of concrete, is actually thinner at the top than at the bottom, reducing its weight. And at the very center, an opening, the oculus, lets light pour into the building, creating an ethereal glow. The Pantheon wasn't just a temple, it was a statement. It spoke of Roman power, of Roman ingenuity, of Roman ambition. It showed that the Romans weren't just conquerors, they were builders, creators, artists. But Rome wasn't just about grand monuments and temples. It was also a city that understood the importance of leisure, of relaxation, of taking care of the body as well as the mind, and nowhere is this more evident than in the baths of Caracalla. Section 5. The Baths of Caracalla. Luxury and leisure in ancient Rome, the Baths of Caracalla. These weren't just baths, they were a palace of leisure. Built in the early 3rd century AD, they offered a haven from the hustle and bustle of Roman life. Here, Romans of all classes could come to relax, to socialize, to exercise. Imagine walking through the grand entrance, the sun glinting off the marble floors. You could choose from a variety of baths, from the frigidarium with its cold water to the tepidarium with its warm water to the caldarium with its hot water. There were also saunas, massage rooms, and even a library. The baths of Caracalla were more than just a place to get clean. They were a social hub. People came here to meet friends, to discuss business, to gossip. They were a reflection of Roman society, a place where the lines between classes blurred, at least for a little while. The ruins of the baths of Caracalla still stand today, a testament to the Roman love of luxury and leisure. But they also remind us that Rome was more than just a collection of monuments. It was a city of people with all their flaws and all their glories. Rome may be gone, but its legacy lives on. In our art, our architecture, our laws, our language. To study Rome is to study ourselves, to understand where we come from, and perhaps to glimpse where we might be going.